Hey football fans, welcome back to the channel, where we break down the latest NFL news with that raw, no-nonsense style you love. If you're passionate about everything NFL, from off-season moves to training camp battles, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's dive into some breaking news out of Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns have officially waived wide receiver Jaelen Gill just days before training camp kicks off. This is a tough break for Gill, who signed with the Browns back in June, hoping to fight for a spot on the roster. But that dream now hits a snag, as the Browns announced that they have waived him with a non-football injury designation. A non-football injury designation means the player was dealing with an injury outside of official team activities. So Gill's opportunity to prove himself on the field this season is now put on hold. Let's take a quick step back to understand how we got here. Jaelen Gill went undrafted last season, but initially caught on with the Los Angeles Chargers. Unfortunately, he didn't make their final 53-man roster and was released. Not one to give up, Gill landed on the Browns' practice squad during the 2024 season, working hard behind the scenes and hoping for his chance to shine. He did get some time to show his stuff during the offseason, participating in OTAs and minicamp, but limited action there wasn't enough to cement his spot. Interestingly, Gill recently opened up about the Browns' quarterback room in an interview with Barry Shuck from Dogs by Nature. He said, and I quote, "I had a little time with Pickett. I have been with Shedeur and Gabriel for the most part. They are trying to learn this offense like the rest of us, since it is different this year from what it was. We are all learning together. So far, they are doing a good job. Both are very vocal, executing, and know their stuff. Both have been learning their job." That's some insightful perspective from a player right on the cusp, watching the Browns adjust their offensive system. It speaks volumes about the complexity of the offense and how everyone is adjusting. But for Gill, it wasn't quite enough to secure a roster spot. Now, switching gears to another Browns wide receiver, David Bell. The team also announced that Bell will be starting training camp on the active non-football injury list. This designation is for players who are recovering from injuries sustained outside of official team practices or games. For Bell, this comes as a bit of a surprise. He's coming off hip surgery and missed both OTAs and minicamp. However, he was recently spotted catching passes from quarterback Deshaun Watson at the Browns facility this offseason, which offered fans a glimmer of hope for his recovery. Bell, who was the 99th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, has struggled to find a consistent role in the Browns' offense. Over 3 seasons, he's only managed 41 receptions for 408 yards and 3 touchdowns, a stat line that doesn't reflect the potential many thought he had when he was drafted. Last season was particularly rough for Bell. He was waived in early September, a move that many believe was strategic to reduce the risk of another team claiming him. Luckily for Cleveland, he cleared waivers and was brought back onto the practice squad. But fate wasn't kind. Bell was elevated to the active roster for the Week 2 game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. During that game, he suffered a dislocated hip, a devastating injury that forced him to be carted off the field and prematurely ended his season. It's been an uphill battle for Bell, and this latest non-football injury designation adds another layer of uncertainty to his future with the Browns. So, what does all this mean for the Browns heading into training camp? The Browns are facing a bit of a talent crunch at wide receiver, especially with key players like Gill now waived and Bell dealing with injury setbacks. With the offense undergoing some changes and the quarterback room evolving, the pressure is on the remaining receivers to step up and make a real impact. For Browns fans, this is a critical juncture. The team has high expectations, and every roster spot counts, especially as they try to make a deep run in a highly competitive AFC. If you're following the Browns, this is definitely a storyline to watch as training camp unfolds. Will David Bell be able to recover and contribute this season? Can Jaelen Gill bounce back from this setback and find another opportunity? And who will emerge as the go-to receivers for Deshaun Watson? There are a lot of questions still unanswered, but that's part of what makes training camp so exciting. Watching players battle it out and fighting for those coveted roster spots. All right, NFL fans, what do you think about the Browns' receiver situation? Are you concerned about their depth? Do you think Bell can bounce back from his injury and finally take the next step? And what about Jaelen Gill? Should he look for a fresh start elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more NFL updates, and share it with your fellow football fans. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more NFL news and analysis right here. Until next time, I'm your name, and this is your go-to source for everything football.